It's me, Tim Snyder, your host of Talkin Trash. This is episode 64. Me and Mike are flying high. I can tell you that much. We got interviewed on a national podcast, and it just came out. And we actually interviewed him. You're going to see that in this episode. What a great time! I told my story front to back. If you want to know about Tim, go watch Faces and Voices of Recovery's Season 2. Recovery Stories Have Power. Faces and Voices of Recovery.org. Tyler Brandon. I almost called him Brandon Tyler again. Me and him are friends now. You know what I mean? And that's recovery. That's the recovery world. We're friendly with each other. We help each other. We support each other. So we're here. We're a recovery podcast, an addiction recovery podcast, mental health podcast. I'm a very huge proponent on mental health and dealing with the root of the problem, the reason you felt the need to self-medicate. Because if you don't do that, you're just being sober. And if you're just being sober, you are probably going to relapse. Very few people white knuckle it and get through it. And the ones that white knuckled it for 50 years, they're miserable. They're dry drunks, So we try to spread the message on a level playing field for everybody that we know, and those we don't. I had a call at 5 a.m. this morning, 4:30 or something. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. This lady called me, and she had been drinking all night. She doesn't know if she wants to live anymore. She just, I just listened to her, but she sent an email first saying, "I feel bad calling Tim's phone number. Yeah, and I wonder how they got my phone number, Mike." And so they, she's like, she called me at 5 o'clock in the morning. But like I said, I'll always answer whoever it is. Creditors don't usually call at 5 a.m., so I'm probably more inclined to answer that call. So yeah, me and Mike were on a national podcast, recovery everywhere. We're just spreading the message. It's sun up to sundown. I had to put my glasses on because my contacts were glued to my eyeballs. I've been at this all day to give you a show full of original Talkin Trash content. If you're still an alcoholic and thinking of going to rehab, I encourage you to play a drinking game. Every time I say take a shot. Just kidding. Don't do that. So here's our preamble, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. This is our humble broadcast where ethics and personal anonymity are of the utmost importance. We run this podcast as an act of service to those whose lives have been affected by addiction. We don't do it for profit or notoriety. We place principles before personalities. We benefit from this podcast just as much as anyone else. We all work programs and choose to sacrifice our own anonymity to spread the message that recovery is possible. We do this thing in an attempt to show as living examples that no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. Not only is that the 9-step promise, it's our creed we abide by here on Talkin Trash. We feel called to uphold AA and NA principles. We firmly believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Please join us for a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty, let's go around and meet the team real quick before we get started. First on deck, we got Mike Oxley. Mike is a long-time addiction recovery nurse. He's seen the recovery landscape change over the years. And you got Tim Snyder. I don't know, there's definitely something wrong with this guy. But he's been through it all, and through his experience, he offers solid guidance to those in recovery and those touched by the disease. Alright, boys and girls, let's go around the horn and check in with everybody. Yeah, let's do that. Michael, Motorcycle, how are you?
I'm okay. This time of night anyway.
Yeah.
It's been a rough couple of days, but I'm good, bud. I'm
All
good.
right, good. I know we had a lot of issues with the avian variety.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We all felt that pain with you. That was brutal. If you want to give our new fans and our new listeners a little background of what you just went through.
Oh, I don't like birds. I have
Yep.
a fear of it, not an irrational fear. But about 8 years ago, my wife showed up on my birthday with two birds. Happy birthday.
Happy
I
birthday.
don't like birds. I don't want birds. What do we got? Well, they're a hand-fed lovebird pair, and they're already paired. So when they're already paired, they mate for life.
Right.
So that's good. All right. Well, I kind of get used to them. Now, keep in mind, at this time, I'm working nights, so all day I would hear them chirp while I'm trying to sleep. But that's okay. I got used to it, like
Yep.
white noise or whatever. But after about a year, we cleaned out the cage, and not we. I'm sorry. She cleaned out the cage,
Of course.
and she did such a good job that she forgot to fill the food and water. And one died. One of the birds died of starvation, I guess,
Way to go,
or
Mike.
dehydration. It was very upsetting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, to
Sure.
actually put an animal through something like that, oh my God. I don't even want to talk about it.
Don't
Because
talk about it.
it was a rough.
That's rough.
But anyway, I figured the other bird, since it's solo, should die of a broken heart. That's what it does.
Yep.
But this bird didn't. This bird, as we affectionately called him, Pervy,
Mm-hmm.
basically decided to masturbate all day and all night while, since his mate was gone. This is what he did.
And we have a video of Mike's bird masturbating. We've been talking about his bird masturbating for 4 shows, and I think it's hysterical, actually.
Well,
Look at this
so he
bird.
decided the rope was his buddy, and he kind of paired with the dogs and myself and April. So he didn't need a mate, obviously.
Kidding
He had
me?
no time. He had no time for a mate.
Oh my Lord in heaven!
So we went out, and the same thing happened the other day. April found these 2 lovebirds that were hand fed, but these ones were in Camden,
Of
and
course.
so I had to go with her. And we got this beautiful cage. It's like a 2-story cage, and she gave the new little lovebird pair, they're juvenile age, the top deck, which is a big cage, and this guy, Humpy, Pervy, the bottom part. And after a couple of days of them being here and living above him, we noticed the dogs alerted me that something was going on, and I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was going to die because when animals are near you, it usually means they can sense death.
Yeah.
So they made me look into the bird cage, and there was Pervy dead.
Mm.
I don't know if he humped himself to a heart attack or it was just a broken heart. It wasn't. He couldn't deal with the competition
I
of
can't.
upstairs. I don't know.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I really.
This is a
I've
lovebird without a partner. That's what he
Oh
did all day
my.
and all night.
God Almighty! This is ridiculous.
And when I first had my stroke, my brother came and stayed a few days when April had to go back to work.
Uh-huh.
And he would sleep on the couch, and this is right next to the couch. And he would say, "Dude, what the hell is going
This
on
is
here?"
over the top. I didn't really watch this clip until I just put it on at the last second. That's why we were 5 minutes
Uh-huh.
late. And
But
I haven't
now,
really watched
since he died the other day, I was quite fond of him, and I don't look back in disgust at his terrible habits.
I think it's
I look
fantastic.
back with kind of a quiet comfort
Sure.
and knowing that he's humping the big rope in the sky now or something.
My God in heaven. So
The
this
big
is,
rope in the sky.
this is a real
But
treat to us and
It
our
doesn't
listeners.
it doesn't gross me out as bad because he lived a full life. He
Yeah.
gave it all he had. Let me tell you, he gave life all it had. Losing
he
his
did.
mate, 6 years of just living on the rope, bopping along. Now, we have 2 blue ones that are upstairs or in the big cage, and they should be fine, and they're having a great time
Wow.
so far.
I mean,
So far,
that is that's wonderful. I just I appreciate you sharing that with us.
it's been a lot. It's been rough.
Hysterical. Oh my God. So I love your bird. Kaisa, our friend as always. She said hi.
Hey, Kai.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, get on the stream, people. Get some questions. We got a good chunk of people listening, but people are afraid to say I'm an
Text.
alcoholic. I'm an al. This is
They'll
not
never
a.
they'll never sound stupid because
No,
there's
listen.
no stupid question.
No, there isn't. You can visit us at trash-podcast.com. What else can you do? You can do other stuff. Let's
Mike
see.
at trash-podcast.com or Tim at trash-podcast.com. See how
We
quick I
answer.
can rattle them off?
Incredible. Mike could not say that for 25 episodes. And now he's
Hey,
just
I heard you at the beginning say something about your interview with Face the Nation or what's it called? Face
faces and voices
Face.
of recovery.
Yeah, that's it. Saying that you got on there and you told that you wanted to send that MP3 that time of
Yeah.
your whole story, front to back. And I wanted to say, as a nurse, I'm glad you practice front to back.
Come on, Mike.
That's all
Act
I
like
wanted to say about that.
you're like an adult for once. So we got fun stuff coming up. Our friend Tyler, from Faces and Voices of Recovery. He
Hey, there's Tina.
yep, she says, "Hey guys, hey Tina, way to go." Our loyal listeners, they don't mind talking.
Nah,
So
they'll
yeah,
say,
so we have Tyler. We interviewed him. We're gonna have that in a little bit. What else we got going on? Tim's pissed, so
oh boy. And that's
fun.
like,
Yep. Everybody
like
go and get it.
somebody pulled the pin and threw a grenade in the room.
Yeah,
Everything gets hit.
I've been
It's crazy. I'm
doing.
sorry I missed you talking to Tyler today, by the way, but I just couldn't get it together in time today, unfortunately, with
Yeah, it's all good. Really, it's all
physically.
good.
So
Yep.
it's good. It's good. He's a great guy. He's you know, you would think he's more conservative than I thought,
Yep.
and
Yep.
conservative in his thinking.
Wait till you
And
hear his
I
interview.
think
It is.
everybody will change their preconceived ideas about Tyler
Yep.
when you watch it, because
Yep.
I had preconceived ideas, and he's totally not like that.
Right. So here's me on the show. Let's watch it real quick. Take your recovery seriously. Never did. I worked in treatment for a year and a half. Never took recovery seriously. Thought it was a joke. I was like, you guys, I'm them, right? I'm shooting heroin, but like I'm better, so I'm a tech, so I'm gonna look down on them and be like, well, like it's just that ego, that pride. Like I was my own higher power, and you know, I fail, and to be able to just say I'm not this, I'm just me, I made mistakes. I'm paying for mistakes, but at least I have my dignity back, and I can bare my soul without feeling judged. So that was nice. That was really I'm honored.
Very
I've
good.
never had anything like that before. Very happy about that.
And that's the
So
commercial to our episode.
that's like a short. It's like a
Okay.
like a promotional thing. So we got Tyler on here. He was a blast. We talked about spirituality, and I'll tell you what, man. It's actually a powerful interview. We get into it about some real stuff, and I'm excited to show our audience. And here is Tyler Brandon, interviewed by yours truly. So, a friend of ours, we were on their podcast a week or so ago. He is a good friend. He's become a friend, and he's a good guy. We were honored to be on his podcast, and that would be our friend Tyler Brandon from Faces and Voices of Recovery. He is an advocate of recovery. He is in recovery himself, and he represents Recovery Stories Have Power podcast that we were guests on. And yeah, we had a great time. We felt welcome. We felt comfortable. Well, maybe not that comfortable. I was a little uncomfortable. We're used to interviewing people and not getting interviewed. So nice to have you back. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you? Yeah, it's a very
All right.
different perspective when you're on the other side of the coin.
It is. Yeah, I got my feels about it because I'm comfortable enough with the podcast now and getting on a place and talking and knowing my story and knowing that it's fluid and it's honest. I don't have to hide anything. I can be myself. And I was on your podcast, and I realized that like my true self has value. What I'm sharing, is just honesty, and that has value. And the guy I pretended to be for so long really had no value. He was fake. He wasn't a real person. He was somebody trying to be, fake it till you make it, but I never really made it. I think a lot of addicts can identify with that. How you
Yeah.
doing?
Good. A lot of moving, it's a lot of moving parts,
Mm-hmm.
constantly. We have different events that we attend, or different contracts we work with, that we have in-person trainings. We're still delivering all of our online virtual trainings through different networks and through different organizations. So it's a lot of good work. Still delivering all our trainings, still trying to deliver as much technical assistance as we can, collaborating with some really good organizations also, the same mission in mind, same objectives. So it's good. Hopefully some really good opportunities next year that are in the works and discussion. So we'll see how it pans out. But
Let me ask you honestly: is it hard being in the corporate world of it? Because I know anytime I went into the corporate world of anything, the corporate side of it, took over. It kind of it blurred the message for me. But I'm also like an idiot. But yeah, is it hard being in the recovery world corporately?
yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what you prefer, what your preference is in giving back. So, for example, I know for me, I'm more of I don't want to feel that I am responsible for someone's, life or
For sure.
journey, progress. Like, I want to assist, but I can't have that type of pressure that I am, their safety net.
Well, you're not going to be useful if you're overloaded. And
Right.
that's everybody. It's a kind of general
Right.
statement, but yeah, I mean, I can respect what you do. It's got to be a challenge, but rewarding at the same time because you're spreading the message, and the message. You are in recovery, and we kind of know your story. We talked last episode you were on. Really powerful stuff. We got a lot of feedback. A couple thousand people watched it, and it was really powerful. Your moment in the rehab where you broke down and had this physical reaction to asking God to intervene because you knew you were done after that. And that was such a powerful story. Resonated with me, resonated with our co-host, and you saying to the preacher man that you had that, and he was kind of envious of it. And you mentioned to me the other day that you go to a Bible study. I'm a Christian, without a doubt. I'm spiritual. I go to church once or twice a month. I watch some podcasts. We talked about it in my meeting last night. If you don't figure out the spiritual component of it, if you don't have that spiritual awakening, you don't have that epiphany or whatever, those people typically don't make it. I've never heard somebody come to an AA meeting, a speaker meeting, and say, yeah, I got 12 years sober and yeah, never found God, but the doorknob was my higher power, and here I am. I've never heard that. So it's interesting, and here you are with a spiritual component. What's that like for you? How does that play in, and how does that look?
Yeah, so it's hard because like people really can get very offended when you discuss it's
Yeah.
interesting. I've always wondered why there's such offense, and I get there's triggers maybe, and maybe
Yep.
the upbringing depending on how extreme the faith was in their childhood.
Yeah.
But for me, and I am so far off from being like the idea of a perfect Christian, so far off.
Sure.
And it's literally to the point where like I know that like I am fighting day in and day out to get a spot in heaven. Like I'm not one of those Christians that's going to die tomorrow and go, oh, I'll be in heaven.
Yeah.
Because I catch those all the time, and I'm like, oh, that must be nice to be that confident. But no, I'm literally like, I have no idea. So for me, I have to keep trying because I know the same way I do something good in this minute, I'll probably throw vulgarity in 5 minutes and be
Sure.
like, it's just innate. Like, it's just something that's always been part of me in a way. And I've been speaking the way I speak for so long that it's like, you're trying to change terminology. You're trying to change. And another thing, like, we all gossip. We all judge at certain points when we shouldn't. But that's a big thing, you know, as humans, it's very easy to see something that may shock you and be like, oh my gosh, you know, and like, I've really worked on stopping it at the, oh my gosh, and not finishing a sentence in my mind. Because that's the hardest thing. People think judgment is just outwardly speaking, you know, it's like, no, like, in my opinion, and what the Bible says is God knows your thoughts. So whether you said it out loud or not, you're still judged.
Sure.
So I'm really trying to, like, I've done way better with the outward judgment. It's the thoughts in my mind where I'm like, no. Like, as it's happening, I'm like, nope.
Right.
You know? So it's the most important thing to me. And actually, since I got baptized a few weeks ago, I missed one of the Wednesdays because I just forgot. Like, I go on Wednesdays, which is why we're recording early today.
Yep.
I go on Wednesdays and I missed one because I just lost track of time. By the time I remember, it was like 8:00 and it was too late. So I was at GNC, which is supplement store, and one of the worship leaders from my church, I have never seen anyone from my church outside of church.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't hang out with them. I don't hang out with the congregation. I don't see them randomly. And I'm in GNC and literally one of the worship leaders comes walking in. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it was like the day after. Yeah. So sure enough, they're like, oh, hey, it's good to see you. So where were you? Like, literally, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how do I see them? And I had already apologized. I'm like, God, I'm sorry. You know, it wasn't intentional. But like, the fact that even that moment proved to me, because again, what's the likelihood that I've never seen these people in years ever? And the one time I miss when I'm like made a promise that I'm going to be more consistent is when I get corrected.
Of course.
You know,
that's how it is.
Yep. So those are the moments that make you realize, like, for me, my faith is very validated. There's a million examples I could bring up, but, you know, that's just one of the many.
That's admirable. It really is admirable because a lot of people don't do that. They don't hold themselves accountable. And I was the same way for years. I was judgmental. As soon as somebody walked in the room, I'd character assassinate them top to bottom, have them figured out. And, recovery has helped me a lot because, it levels the playing field a little bit. I walk into an AA meeting and I really don't think that way anymore. It comes and goes. I'm not perfect, but I'm on this level where I'm like, I'm not better than him. The stuff I've done and my story that I've been honest with, these people know, I'm no better than him, and it helps. But I still do it. I'm still, like you said, it's a daily struggle. But like the other thing is, like, I try not to be too hard on myself with my vernacular, like I curse. I was a truck driver for a long time. So like I can curse up a storm and get people laughing. Angry Tim is people like him until he loses control. So I'm naturally like an aggressive, well, I try not to be not better these days, but like I'm naturally like, I can curse. Like, my parents watch this show, and if I say shit, I'm in trouble, So yeah, it is. I try not to hold myself too high a standard because, I didn't make me, and I've been made with mistakes, and I try to honor God the best I can with this show. We don't shove it down people's throats because we don't want to lose people, because like you said, it is a touchy subject.
Right.
The Catholic Church, there's a lot of stuff that muddied the waters, and a lot of agnostics, and so like we don't want to alienate any group whatsoever. So we're spiritual, but we understand the steps, and we try to convey that message. And it is nice to come across someone else who's in the position you're in, who also is a Christian. And I really don't say the word Christian on our podcast. I say higher power. I say spirituality. But I just realized it just now. I don't use the word Christian.
Right. And why, and I realized that too. I've literally, and I've had to change that because it's almost, I started realizing that I wasn't saying Christian, not so much. I mean, at work, it's different, right? Obviously terminology changes when you're at work, but I'm talking about even day to day, just people I talk to, I'd be like, oh, I'm spiritual.
Right.
no, I'm Christian, you know, and it's like I started realizing, why am I changing? Sorry if you hear airplanes going on. I started changing it because I started realizing that I didn't want someone to judge me
Yeah.
for being Christian. I'm like, why am I, like, I'm saying I'm gay quicker than I'm saying I'm Christian, meaning that clearly I don't care about the judgment of my sexual orientation, but I care about the judgment of my faith.
Yeah.
And once I realized that clearly I was not, I wasn't living up to what I should be living up to as a Christian. I mean, look at the apostles; they were literally executed for preaching. So if they, and I'm not going to get killed for it, right? Like I know I'm not going to walk down the street and say I'm Christian. Well, maybe who knows? But realistically, I can nearly guarantee I'm not going to be living with the same type of likelihood of execution as the apostles did.
Yeah,
you know, back then. So for me to be scared to say Christian is ridiculous. So once I started realizing that, I'm like, nope. So now I really try to make sure, like, no, say Christian. Don't say something else. You know,
I just realized that just now talking to you, hearing you say it for a second time on a second podcast, I was thinking about it, and I don't use it not only on the show but in life. Like, and you're right. I don't want to be like, you're a Christian. You believe in that particular God. You know, it's God. He's in heaven. It's the Trinity, all that. So, you know, if you say you're spiritual, people can let that slide because that could mean anything. Maybe I worship the universe. Maybe I worship Buddha or whatever. So, like, you're right. We should take a stance, and we don't have to shove it down people's throat. But
but just be proud of your faith.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of Hindu, a lot of people practice Hinduism that I knew during years of kind of personal training. They were some of the most outwardly like faithful people I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I scared to say Christian when all these other faiths, Buddhist, Hindu, like they have no problem saying what faith they connect to. And here I am hiding from saying the truth, saying my truth.
Yeah.
So it's like, once I realized that, I've really worked on it. I still catch it and I'll start saying it. You know, I'll be like, oh, I'm very Christian.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm Christian.
Yeah.
You know, and then because then I think too, as a gay man, it also changes things a little bit because obviously what scripture says about homosexuality, it makes you, there's almost like this judgment right away. Whereas, and I'm not sure, I'm sure there's other gay men that feel the same way, but if you're talking to people in the community, because of what scripture says, there's a lesser likelihood that they're going to be in their face. So, and there's a higher likelihood there's going to be more judgment from them that you are in that faith because they feel that you're kind of like the enemy or you're turning against your own community. And it's like, that's not the case. Two things can be true at the same time, you know? And from what I've been through in my life, God knew I was gay when I was from before I was even born. So he hasn't turned his back on me, even though I'm gay. So I, you know, that's what I look at, not what scripture says, you know?
Like if you go to if you go to a Baptist church, like an old school church, like, the Bible is scripture. It's what they follow. And it says women can't preach at the pulpit. It says sodomy is a sin. It says a lot of nonsense that, you know, doesn't resonate with me or most people today because we're such a diverse group now. And, you know, if you're holding one group, you know, out of your world, you're missing out on good people. So we don't, we're turning into not doing that as a society, which is a relief. But like this is what I kind of believe. You know, I hear you say, you know, you're working on getting to heaven every day. You know, I wonder, and I'm not speculating on your personality or your life, but like, do you feel like you come into the game negative as it is, or in a way, and maybe to certain people, but like being gay, like, do you feel like you have to work extra? Is that a correlation, or am I?
So for me, like, it does seem like it kind of puts you behind the starting line. Like, so if everyone's if you look at, I'm using a metaphor, if you look at kind of the finish line as heaven, right? And everyone's starting in a literal race, like, it seems like I'm kind of already getting forced to stand, you know, maybe 100 feet back. Like everyone else kind of already has that push and I'm already forced back because it's something that was not a choice. It's something that you feel in you, like it's the same way. And I try to explain this to people, and it gets so frustrating how they can't grasp it. The same way a heterosexual feels about the opposite sex is exactly the same way someone that is homosexual feels about the same sex.
Sure.
We don't know why. We don't know if it's a gene. I don't know if God implants it. I don't know where it comes from, but I can literally trace back to probably 4 or 5 years old, and we talked about this on the phone.
Oh yeah.
I can trace it all the way back then. And there was never a time that I ever found women sexually attractive for me. So it's not something that like I was pushed into. And if anything, my family, they weren't homophobic, but my father was from a farm town, very rural. Like he did not, it took years for him to really, because I have a gay older brother. So it took years from that experience for him to be accepting. It was not overnight. So
yeah, sure.
It wasn't something I was scared to say in my family, but it also wasn't something I knew was going to be like, yay, I didn't know where it was going to fall. Right. So for me, it's one of those situations where it's just something that was always there. And I did feel like, and it did keep me away from my faith for a few years, to be honest. It was something that I was like, well, would God even want me to go to church if he's telling me that basically, or if the Bible's telling me I'm an abomination, So as a gay man, you sit there and think that, because why would you want to invest in something that's maybe a waste of time?
Right. No, really, I cannot. My God is a loving God. He's not a vengeful God. Times were different, and people were different, and they were evolving, and
right.
Angels showed themselves, and it was easier to have faith back then, because today there's no angels showing up and like everybody's like, oh, I can believe in that because I can see it.
Right.
With us, our faith has to be true because we have to believe and walk in something that we can't see. We don't have a tangible icon or idol or whatever to look at. God didn't show up at the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's like we have to make a choice. And it's a messed up world out there. So
right.
It is. It really affects me to hear your faith, because you, unfortunately, have to work harder. You don't have to work harder, but there is a stigma that you don't. Some churches. There's a lot of progressive churches. What kind of church do you go to? Like what?
A Baptist church, actually.
Really?
And and when I was getting baptized, this is why I can't be out in public. So I was in church and I was going through the baptism walkthrough. Our pastor does a kind of this is where you'll change. This is where you're going to come into the tub. Da, 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 da. So it was kind of like going over a walkthrough, and it was me and another woman. And we have 2 closets. The way our church is set up, we have 2 closets, changing rooms, and then the worship stage, and then the tub is right behind that. Yeah. So you have to come out of the closet and then you come into the tub, whatever. So first off, I'm like, it better be warm. Oh my God. Yeah.
Couldn't help myself.
So I'm like, it better be warm, it better be heated, kind of cracking jokes, but I'm actually kind of serious because I don't want to dive into cold water. So he's like, Tyler, this is not a 5-star luxury process. So anyways, we're going through, and I'm standing in the closet, and the woman goes, she was like, Tyler, come out. You don't have to stand in the closet. There's space right here to stand. And I go, oh, I was in the closet for too many years. Thank gosh. And I walk out, and she starts laughing. So I thought it was funny. So I'm laughing. And then he literally covers his face, and he's laughing, but he's trying to hide it. So then we walk up. But then that resulted in him calling me into the office. It felt like back in school with the principal. Yeah. So he called me into the office, into his office at church. And he said, and at first I was offended, but I realized I was offended because I wasn't grasping what he was saying. I was taking it more personally. But he was saying, listen, we are a Baptist church. He goes, as a Baptist church, he goes, this is what they feel. We don't, as the Baptist denomination, we're not as open and accepting for homosexuality. It's just not what they preach.
I've gone to a Baptist church my whole life, and now.
Right. And he goes, that's not what I personally feel per se, but this is what we said. And he's like, I want you to know that before I baptize you, so you don't, it's not a shock to you if, it's not you expected post baptism, and we're not whatever.
Good for him.
And yeah, and I appreciated it after, but at first I thought he was saying it because he just didn't want to do it, and this was kind of his cop out. So I was looking at it like that. So then he says something at one point, and I go, Pastor, like, I'm like, you realize I could go to like a New Day non-denominational church with gay pride flags hanging out, and not a hit to anyone that does. I'm saying I could go there, and not only would I be accepted, I would be like set up. Like people would try to set me up with other gay men in the congregation.
Yeah.
I go, I'm coming here because I do agree with a good chunk of what the Baptist denomination preaches, and I'd rather potentially overshoot scripture than undershoot, you know? So it's kind of like, I'm trying to tell you that I know people are going to judge me. I know that I'm not technically accepted in the denomination, but as long as you're okay with me as my pastor being here, and I'm here for God, that's all that I care about. I don't care about what the congregation thinks. So then he was like, Tyler, I respect that so much, because he didn't think about it clearly. And then he's like, you could, and you're coming here knowing that it's not going to be an easy path for you. And I'm like, yeah, it's not. So that changed the tone of the conversation. And he's like, I'd love to baptize you, And then I go, okay. I'm like, well, let's do it when there's not many people here, because I don't want to sense their judgment. But then he was like, we should do the opposite. He goes, let people judge, but show them that no matter what you think about me or judge me, I'm still going to keep my relationship with God.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That's true. And God would appreciate that more, in my opinion, too, because it's saying basically, not F you, but in a way saying like, my relationship with God means more than your judgment. I don't give a shit what all of you think. So I knew. I got baptized and there was like 45 people there. I almost had a fucking heart attack. But much. Oh my gosh, I was like, okay, you told me there's a few, not 45. Yeah. So I'm like sitting there all freaked out, but we ended up doing it and whatever. And then there was a few people that were super supportive, that were super sweet. And I'm sure I didn't look at all the congregation because I didn't want to like notice any faces that were rude. I didn't want to ruin the moment. But I'm sure there were countless people that were like, oh, he's gay and he's getting baptized. What a joke. You know, like people are assholes. Yeah, but that's them. You know, so I always tell people, don't let your faith stop you. Don't let other people's issues with you stop you. You know, if you're a prostitute and you're trying to get on your feet, I'm serious. If you're a prostitute trying to get on your feet, like, and you can go to church and make it work, and it's just going to take some time to get out of that lifestyle, go to church. Yeah. Don't let people's judgment like, oh, she's still doing whatever. Yeah, because, you know, she's probably saving money to get out of this lifestyle. So like, go to church, practice your faith. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel bad. Don't ever think God would prefer you not to be there because maybe you're not living up to his expectations. That's not the case.
What a great message. I kind of related to me, a drug addict, going to AA because I prefer that structure and I prefer that the group conscience more than NA. I go to NA, but like I'm a member of an AA group. So like you could go to one of those progressive churches that have a light show and you know, like it's and you choose to go to the Baptist church. I mean, I can see what your faith shows. Not like I'm not judging your faith. I can see your light. You know. We were going to talk about mental health, and this is my mental health. So it's I'm glad it was this. This is much better. So like I just you know I have a heart for people in the gay community. I have a heart for you know, people, you know, who have issues. You know what I mean? Because like I'm not better than them. I was an IV heroin addict. I shot cocaine and heroin and God knows what else. I'm better than somebody who's gay. Like they're probably better than me. You know, so like that's why I love recovery. Addiction is addiction, but recovery levels it out. The playing field's level, so you and me can talk as equals and as friends. You know, and that's a beautiful thing. That you know, I feel bad. Normal people don't get to have that, and it's a shame. You know, because it's a good thing to have.
The shit. I mean, I thought it was my phone.
What? What happened? Oh yeah,
music.
your
I thought,
outro music.
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought my phone was going off, and I'm like, well, we're gonna have to edit that out. Never mind.
You're in a real production here, buddy boy. You know.
I know, yeah. See, all of our music gets thrown in after, so I don't,
Well, the editing part
like
of
a
this,
candle
doing 2 shows a week, and we're doing live shows now, so it's
I know. I see you guys' little notification pop up sometimes on my YouTube. YouTube, it pops up. And have you done Instagram yet, or just
all
YouTube?
of them, yeah.
Okay, so I've gotten notifications on a few, and I was gonna jump in and just,
Well, my kids did last week, and they were idiots. They were blowing up the Instagram feed, saying hi to Mike. They love Mike, and they were. I pulled them on, and they had a blast. So
that's so sweet.
Things are. I want other addicts in recovery who have burnt stuff to the ground like I have to see that that's possible. You can get that back. My kids wanted nothing to do with me. They told me where to go and how to get there a couple of years ago, and now we FaceTime every day. So it is possible to be at your bottom and get it all back, but you have to buy into recovery and spirituality and our God. You have to figure that component out in order to. And a lot of people who are blasted by recovery or addiction, they're ready. They're rock bottom and they're looking up. So there's only one way to look, and it's up to heaven. So like, it's nice to see transformation in the room. So Tyler, Brandon, great friend of the show. Thank you for coming on.
Oh my gosh, that picture! I
love it.
I can't. First off, my hair is short now, but secondly, I feel like I looked. I don't know, and I know where exactly. I was at an Italian restaurant when I took that picture, and I was bloated too. I remember being so disgusted with myself.
It.
I was like, oh, it's only from the chest up, thank God.
You're worse than me. I was like, I'm going to send you an MP3. I did so bad. And you're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, but did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh my, and the short that they put out today, I was like, oh my God, that was great. So I'll share that tonight.
Oliver is awesome with editing. Like, he knows what he's doing. I have no idea how to edit. I just speak. Yeah, I speak and then he figures it out after. But
yeah, as an editor and a graphic designer, I could see he did a great job. So, all right, Tyler, we'll see you soon. Thank you for coming on, bud.
Thank you, Tim. And tell Mike I said hi.
I will. Thank you, Tyler, for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Faces and Voices of Recovery is dedicated to advancing recovery efforts, keeping themselves committed to the progress of recovery. They advocate for normalizing recovery and destigmatizing addiction. Link up with their socials. Their podcast is Recovery Stories Have Power. That's available on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. And check out their website, facesandvoicesofrecovery.org. That's what, there he is. He's a character, Tyler Brandon. He's a good time. I said, send me a picture of you, a good headshot, like a professional shot. And that's what I get. So the dude is fit. There's Tyler Brandon. Thank you, Tyler, for coming on. Faces and Voices of Recovery. Recovery Stories Have Power. Get up in there. They're doing a good thing. They do the Surgeon General before us. So and like other important people, and then you got Tim Snyder in there. So we had a good time. Mike, what, you can't hear? Of course. What did you do? Mike has been, I've been watching him fumble through his thing, and now he can't hear anything. And Mike, there's nothing that I can do. It's all on your end. You got to restart the thing. No, can't hear you. Live broadcast. This is tough to watch. Look at this guy. I mean, I have a little image of him, on the bottom of my production thing, and this has been going on the entire time Tyler's been on. Him flipping the camera around, it's like, let's put a full screen and watch this nonsense. Yep, look at this. I got music for this too. Oh my God. Mike, can we hear you? Nope. Oh my God. Nope. It's you. Yep. Unbelievable. So there goes Mike. Absolutely ridiculous. What are we gonna do here? All right, this is funny. Mike has a little slip, and it's hysterical. So let's have a looky at that.
And wife beater Rico Denya.
He's not a wife. Don't say that.
He's got a wife beater shirt on.
know.
Andre Alex the tree.
You introduced him as wife beater. Never mind. It's
Oh
funny.
yeah, 129 days.
Didn't think of that, did you? Yeah.
Oh. And
Right.
Rico with 121. I said wife beater. I was talking about his
Oh,
shirt.
It was
His
awesome.
shirt. Nani's a wife beater. 132 days. Samantha Hess. Yo.
Mike. Oh
Yes.
my God! What the hell, Michael?
Well, you know what happened?
I don't know.
My mother, Dawn Tyler, 3 times.
I saw that.
She called 3 times. The first time I said, "Mom, I'll have to call you a little later. I'm doing a live show."
Mm-hmm.
All right, don't. 5 minutes later, Mom, I just told you. Well, I need you to do that. Okay. And the third time was, oh, that one wasn't me.
Okay. Well, for
So
those
here
that
I am. It does make quite the story. Live
Yeah.
television. See what can happen?
Let's see.
81-year-old moms can call in
How about that?
3
So,
times.
For those who now don't want to live anymore,
Don't kill yourself. Call 988. That's the way to go these days.
Right.
988. If somebody calls 911 on you and it makes you sad, you call 988 to help yourself.
right?
That's what
So-
I'm thinking.
After that debacle, I'm thinking people want to punch the ticket. I would. It was a rough one, Mike. It was fun to watch, though.
Fix it. And wife Peter Rico Denya.
He's not a wife. Don't say that.
He's got a wife beater
I
shirt on.
know.
Andre Alex the tree.
You introduced him as wife beater. Never mind. It's
Oh
funny.
yeah, 129 days.
Didn't think of that, did you? Yeah.
Oh. And
Right.
Rico with 121. I said wife beater. I was talking about his
Oh,
shirt.
It was
His
awesome.
shirt. Nani's a wife beater. 132 days. Samantha Hess.
Not that we know of. That's
I have no words.
that's
I'm
gold to
sorry.
me. That's
Rico, if you're watching right now, I don't know. Tank
re-
top.
reach
That's what
out,
you say, tank
Rico,
top.
and let us know you're not having any issues at home. And if you're if you're Rico Dania's wife, 988, you can call that. I would call 911. That's I cut the clean time was getting so long, so I cut it. There were like 6 seconds a person. I cut it down to 4, and it tripped Mike up pretty good. So
Yeah.
I take full responsibility for that. So speaking of which, why don't we get into our friends that are doing such a great job?
We love clean time. Timothy F. 40 days. Proud of you, Tim.
Oh boy,
Jeremy Moore. 50 days. That's no joke, Jeremy. Look
bravo.
at Rigid Chiati. 56 days for Jason D.
Look at 60.
TW. Look at this. 63 days. Congratulations. Haley McDermott. Look at this. 77 days. 79 up to for Skylar S.
That girl,
And John Brown. 103. Triple
Yeah.
digits.
boy.
105 for Valencia. Remember, that's no joke anymore.
Nope.
Same thing with you, Katarina D. 110 days. I'm proud of you. 113 days for April Art. 115 for Monty Fani. She looks tough though. 118 days for Michaela Booker, one of our originals, one of my favorites actually. 120 days for them sunglasses, 60 per lens. 124 for Rico in a tank top. Ta-da! Alex Petrine, 128 days. Samantha Hess, 135. Looking good. Anthony Seals with the big head, but that's a big number, 136 days. Destiny J, 140 days. And don't forget Daniel, the OG, 143 days. AJ Hamilton, not the Washington Redskin that had to go to prison, 165 days. Andreas Estrada, 169 days. David D, the original David D.
Oh boy.
174 for Kristen A. Should I say Christian? Tara Dixon, 171. 173 for Alex M. And we know one of my original favorites, Nikki Starnes. Remember, I told her not to go to rehab. 176 days. Croikey's mate. Tony J, still topless, 202. That 202, when you look at it, looks like him topless.
Yeah.
203 days. Jen Magnet. 216 for Jared Black, one of our friends of the show, obviously. Mandy G, kiss, kiss, kiss. 247 days, Jamie Michelle. And you know Deshaun Booker, I wonder if he's related to the other book, Michaela.
I think that's
296 days, Ricky McVicker. And Cassie Spencer, 322. That's no joke. Jenny, c'est pas, c'est soi, avec moi, 352 days, KDM.
I saw Katie at my group last night. I was looking for her. I was worried about her.
Are you supposed to do that?
Yeah, I could do whatever I want.
Right.
And I held her day count up, made her smile. Good job, KDM. You're almost to a year.
Unbelievable. Good job, KDM. You little Frenchie.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia C, 352.
Aunt Patty.
353. Craig Flipper looks like he's seeing court. 390 days, 1 year. Pass a year, Ronnie J. You're the man. And you're a real presence on the net. 410 days for Will. Tim, we know the other guy talking in the show right now. 507 days. We got Daniel Gelman, 2 years. 2 years for Stella Montez. 2 years for Amelia Corto. They look like they could be buddies. That's all I'm saying. April Pritchard, 3 years. And my man, Jeffrey S., 4 years. Repo Man. Paul Flagg. I know Paul a long time.
Paul.
4 years. God, I saw Paul. God, these were the good times. 4 years for Casa B, and Tyler B. We talked about him, and you saw him earlier. 4 years. 6 years for Lisa Welk. Simon Cross, he was on here. He's very well known on the internet. Look him up. 6 years. 8 years for Tina. She was very well known on our show, one of our go-tos. 13 years. Neil K. He works in the business. Do what he did. Do what Neil does. And of course, the newcomer, 14 days. Unbelievable. Michael, that's great. If you're watching us right now, we are so proud of you. To just do it like that off the cuff, wonderful. And you can always reach out if you want to be on Clean Time to me or Tim at TrashTashPodcast.com.
Attaboy.
And we'll put you on there. The one thing with Clean Time is I think we want you to check in like once a month, just so we're being accurate with our days and stuff. Get some Narcan, people. There was 988 back there.
Yeah, keep in touch with us a little bit, people.
Not every day, but every few weeks.
But, you know.
Sometimes you don't hear from them for a month, and then, you know.
I'm just saying. I like this little combo here. The song.
Yeah. What song?
It's Queen. You didn't hear it? I was playing Don't Try.
I don't hear anything.
Oh my God. What is wrong with your shit tonight? I don't know.
Hear anything.
You don't hear the music that I'm playing?
Nope.
What about
nobody
what about
does?
Your bird? Yes, they do.
Yes,
everybody does.
I hear my bird.
But you don't hear.
No, I don't hear nothing.
All right. Well, that's got to be you because I know the world is hearing it. So that's Clean Time. Way to go to our people. Let's check in with our friends. We got to say hi to our people that we love. Clean
Time is the reason that they wanted to interview us, and that's what's getting such national acclaim. Is that little segment of you guys may have just said, "What the hell was that?" Clean Time, and that's what people want to know about, and how it works and what it takes to be a part of. So just let us know. Let us know. You can be on it too.
Yeah, please do. It's important. Let's say hi to our friends real quick. There's a couple people in there that aren't friends. Friends with benefits. I'm going to skip over number 1. Tyler Brandon. We all
just
know
talked
him.
about him. We just
Yeah, we're a
interviewed him.
little-
Well,
little-
you did.
I'm a little sick of him already. He's been all over our show. But we do. We love Tyler. We love his big corporation that pumps talking trash and tires. Kaisa B. Sober Hope, Houston, Texas. Clean and sober.
We love Kaisa.
5,000
Kaisa.
other. Yes, we do.
She never stops. She never stops.
Tina Sizzle.
Tina,
She's
the exception
real-
to the rule, right there. You're
she's
looking
a
at
real
the
person.
exception to the rule is Tina.
I mean, down
and her
to
sister's a genius.
down to earth. I'm texting Will right now. I was going to have him on the show.
Will
It's a
Douglas.
complicated show. 405 something days.
Oh, I don't know who saw our last show with his parents coming in.
It was ridiculous.
We'll have to tell you that story. His
It was
parents.
Ridiculous. Tommy Wilkes.
Tommy.
Tommy. Garrett.
Garrett.
Keep doing your thing. You're in the trenches. You're doing a good job. We're proud of you. Simon Cross.
Simon.
Straight Line Foundation. He's a good dude. DMX. My mom and dad, as always, sharing a soda pop and a sock hop. April and Michael on the beach in, where were you, Puerto Rico?
No, Dominican Republic.
Oh,
Punta Cana.
my little girls, they're little girls. They're my little sweet girls. I remember when they were little tiny babies. Aww. Don't screw up in life, people. Jono, Michael's
There's my brother.
mother. Good guy, great AI picture.
I don't
David.
think he owns a Hawaiian shirt, but it's
No,
pretty funny.
probably not. But he lives in Texas. I thought maybe. Nick D'Angelo, good friend of our show.
One of the
He's,
original. If you saw us early on, he used
Yeah.
to contribute. Yeah, absolutely.
He is. My dog. And that's
We
it
saw,
for
we
our
saw the
friends.
dog live the other night, didn't we?
We did. The dog was live. But like, I just wanted to share with our audience and our listeners that there are people that you're going to run into. You know what I mean? Like, and
That don't want you to succeed.
They don't.
And they're going to be, with addiction, it's even worse.
It is
It's your
even
own
worse.
family.
Yep.
It's friends that you thought, I can tell you more stories of people that have relapsed and been back in the facility, especially around the holidays,
Right.
because of family and close friends.
The holidays are coming up, and the day after Thanksgiving, Mike, right? It's like
The
It's
day
a
before
disaster.
Thanksgiving.
Before I was always Black Friday.
Next Wednesday.
It's the day before. So that's family. That's our point. I have to share what's going on with me. I have to have rigorous honesty. And I've been taught that through counselors in AA. You are going to have people that don't want you to succeed, and you have to be ready for that. You got to have thick skin. You have to have Teflon armor because people are looking to take you out. And I have been dealing with it on a severe level for a long time. And 62 episodes in, you haven't heard a word about it. A little peep here and there. But honestly, it's been a part of my life. And I've been dealing with it with class. All right, just for today, November 24th, 2024. Let's see here. Finding fulfillment, page 338 of the basic text. We weren't oriented.
What's the count? Did you see a count up there?
Who were? How many people?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on. I don't look at it because it pisses me off. Facebook is broken. Doesn't say the right thing. It says
Okay.
450. That's a good amount.
457. Okay, that's cool.
Nobody left when I was on a rant, so I just kept it going.
Jesus.
I did keep an eye on it then. Finding fulfillment. We weren't oriented towards fulfillment. We focused on the emptiness and worthlessness of it all. Basic text, page 89. There were probably hundreds of times in our active addiction when we wished we could become someone else. We may have wished we could trade places with someone who owned a nice car or a larger home, a better job, a more attractive mate. Anything but what we have. Grass is always greener. So severe was our despair that we could hardly imagine anyone being worse shaped than ourselves. Poor us, nobody can have it as bad as me. Typical addicts, right? So in recovery, we may find we are experiencing a different sort of envy. We may continue to compare our insides with others, our outsides and feel as though we still don't have power, still don't have enough power over anything. That's written wrong. That's not me. We may think everyone from the newest member to the oldest member sounds better at meetings than we do. We may think that everyone else must be working a better program because they have a better car, larger home, more money, etc. The recovery process experienced through our 12 steps will take us from an attitude of envy and low self-esteem to a place of spiritual fulfillment and deep appreciation for what we do have. We find that we would never willingly trade places with another for what we have discovered within ourselves. Just for today, there is much to be grateful for in my life. I will cherish the spiritual fulfillment I have found in recovery. So there you have it. It always hits home. Just for today, it really does. It's pretty amazing. Jim Leibel, he enjoyed my rant.
Jimmy.
Yeah. I honestly,
Jimmy's all the way up near in like Edmonton, like
what?
oh, like Saskatchewan. Jim Leibel's all the way in Saskatchewan.
That's crazy. I did
It's
not
cold up
know
there.
that.
You got snow yet, Jim?
Jim, you got snow? Answer us. Here. My
bet you
daughter's
got
gonna
snow.
come on and say hi, real quick. He's been dying to
They
do
love
it.
Uncle Mike. They love
They
Uncle
do
Mike.
love Uncle Mike. They do. Come on, Gracie girl. She's a good kid. She's 17. She'll be 18 in I don't know, March or May or one of those months start with M. Yeah, I'm proud of her. She's really
Is she a senior?
she is a senior and she's dating an 80-year-old, 18-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah, she's going for the money. You know what I mean?
yeah, that would
Nice
be
girl.
like who's that famous lady with the boobs? Nicole. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
That married the 80-year-old guy. Anna Nicole.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. Go to our website, trash-podcast.com. We're just going. I don't care what we're at. Meeting Finder, it's for meetings, for NA meetings. You're gonna want to go to the Play Store or the App Store and click on
Well,
or
stop
search.
promoting it then. If it's so bad, get rid of it.
It's the only thing out there, Mike.
For NA,
Yeah.
then let's do it. Let's make a new one.
I'm producing a show. It's a lot. You know what I
All
mean?
right.
It's a lot. So
All right, I heard that.
okay. Let's see what else. Meeting guide, good app. Everybody likes that. That's what it looks like.
Did Jim get back to us? Is it snowing in Saskatchewan?
He's not in Saskatchewan, is he really?
Yes, he is. Near the Cascade, up above the Cascade Mountains.
Unbelievable. Find your meeting, the App Store or Google Play. And yeah, that's the meeting stuff. And please, for the love of God, look into Narcan. Just get it. I mean, hold on to it, keep it.
Get 2 of them.
Get to. Oh, it comes 2 in a box. Yeah, you just spray it. You spray it up somebody's nose when they're dying. And Mike, I don't know if you know this, but they don't die.
They wake
Crazy.
up and they're kind of pissed that they lost their high. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, I could get high right after. I don't get it.
There's times that this,
I
you know what? Everybody gets that chance. You got to have a level playing field.
You do.
No matter what you did or how many times, I would do it each time. Yes, I would.
Absolutely right. The next slide, you can get it free in Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Wyoming. Go to your state department, naloxoneforall.org. They will ship it to you for free. Donate to them, give them a little something. But if you can't get it by conventional means, go to there, naloxoneforall.org or nextdistro.org. They'll ship it all over go to the pharmacy and get it at a pharmacy. Flag down a cop and ask him for Narcan. He'll be glad to give it to you.
Flagging down no.
I'm just saying, if you see an ambulance at a 7-Eleven,
that's different. But the flag.
I'm joking, Mike. Relax tonight.
I'll throw a rock.
Now Morphine.
I'll throw a brick.
Invisio injector. That's cool. Like
burn that mother down. All right, Grace. I know we got things to do tomorrow. It's Thirsty Thursday.
It is.
Did you wear pink today?
I don't know. She probably did.
We wear pink on Wednesdays. Isn't she one of the mean girls?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I do. I love you. I love you. This guy. Look at that bald head. Could I pull that off, Mike?
I don't know. You look like Rico if you were in a wife beater.
Right. Yep. right white beater Rico Dana. So I'm just a lovable
Which is a
guy.
tank top. Which is a tank top.
I understand what a wife beater is. Um,
That's
Tyler
hard.
Brandon,
That's weird.
we're off, off
If I
the
see that
rails.
one more time,
All right, it's just in the slides. I'm just going through them. Why don't you make the slides? But we love you, and we'll see you on Sunday. Thank God we get a break. I'm exhausted.
I get no time.